Hi everyone. It seems like today I'm talking about Noodlers quite a bit, so I want to talk about this one a little bit. This is the Noodlers Charlie pen. Now this pen it's interesting. You cannot buy this pen in the store. You get this pen for free when you buy Noodlers Heart of Darkness. And I will say Noodlers Heart of Darkness is a black ink. Yes, I think I will need to do a review of that ink just by itself, because I'm quite impressed with the ink. But you buy the ink, it's a huge bottle by the way, and you get this pen for free. So you cannot buy this pen anywhere else. It's quite nice actually, quite beautiful. Look at that sort of pattern on the cap. That's really nice for a free pen. Now what's interesting about this pen is it's an eyedropper, and you cannot use cartridges with it. It's eyedropper only. And there's some interesting history to this pen and the name being a Charlie pen. I'm not going to talk much about that. I think you can research that if you really want to. But for a free pen, this pen has some really nice things going for it. It also has some drawbacks that I'll talk about. It's definitely not entirely a deal breaker. This could be a great pen for you. It just depends on what you're looking for, what you want to use it for. I've really been enjoying using this one, but there are things where I would grab another pen. You know, there are times when this would not be my go-to pen, but it is an interesting pen, and I'm quite impressed. If you're going to give away a pen for free, then yeah, I mean that's pretty nice. And from what I understand, when Noodlers decided to include this pen with their ink, it's not like the price of the ink increased or anything like that. The pen was just included, so it literally is, you know, a free pen in any way that you look at it. And so, you know, if it writes, if it does only that, if it puts ink on paper, in my view, it's a win. Then you have something. Anything else, any complaints you have, really then become sort of invalid. But we will talk about it in any case, because I think this is a pen that they could sell actually. But in any case, right, so we'll take a closer look at it, and I'll do a writing sample with this pen with the Noodlers Heart of Darkness ink. Alright, let's have a closer look at the Charlie pen. I do have some background noise. I think we have a helicopter flying overhead somewhere and it's circling, so we might have some background noise, but that's okay. So the Charlie pen comes with the Noodlers Heart of Darkness ink when you buy this bottle, which by the way is a 133ml bottle. Noodlers fountain pen ink, Heart of Darkness. And so when you buy this ink, let's open it. I'm gonna have a closer look now. I will do a separate review on the ink at some point, but just to show you what you get this ginormous bottle of ink, and in the box you just get this pen in some plastic. Right, so the pen comes free with the ink, and there's a whole history behind the Charlie pen which I'm not going to get into. You can just Google that. I just want to focus on the pen. So this it's a free pen, by the way. Like I said, Noodlers just includes it. It's a freebie. So like I said, if it puts ink on paper, I can't complain about it. It's pretty nice looking, black cap. It's got this pattern on the cap which I really like. The clip is very soft. Very soft. It's barely holding on to anything. I had to take the clip off and bend it to get it to put any kind of tension on the cap there. But this is something that is very nice about this pen. You can take it off like that, and not a lot of pens that you can do that with. And you can put that little part back on. There's no gap there, so you could use this pen without the clip if you wanted to. I think the clip is pretty nice, so I'll use it. So we just put that back. This is nice. This little sort of ways in which you can tinker with a pen. We've got a center band on the cap, nothing on the band, but on the clip we have Noodler's ink. Right. Barrel is transparent. Don't know if you'll be able to see it, but on the barrel it says Noodler's ink right over there, and here it says Charlie. Right, and it's an eyedropper, which means we use the eyedropper on this thing, Heart of Darkness. That's the ink that I have in here as well. I thought it's fitting that it came with this ink, so that's what I will use. Now let me get straight into the writing sample, because this is the interesting part. So we take this off, and man, look at that, we have ink already. Now I was not expecting this. I was expecting some ink to pool at the tip of the nib right there, because that is what this pen does. It is a messy pen. Let me get rid of some ink there. There we go. Well, that's fine. It's character. It's all part of the thing. But I'm not sure exactly what happens. But what I've heard people say is that if you don't have this barrel inked up almost full, the amount of air in the barrel creates, air pressure difference, and that pushes out the ink, and then you have a bit of a mess. This is excessive though, what you just saw, and I'm sure there's ink in the cap as well, so I'll have to clean that out. What I found is that usually when I uncap the pen, there's no ink anywhere, but then within a few seconds of writing, ink starts to pool on the nib, and then it just essentially burps ink all over my page. And it does that every single time I write. It's not occasionally, it happens all the time. In fact, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but that is exactly what's happening now. So the moment I write, you see that. So it's still pushing ink out. Now, what I've done a couple of times is to just unscrew the barrel slightly, and we even out the air pressure, and that should solve the problem. Perhaps, I don't know, except that of course now this is my own fault, but yes, we have more ink everywhere. So you get the idea how it goes with this pen. I need some more paper towel here because the ink is all over my desk as well. So now this is probably my fault. Won't blame the pen for this, but you saw, and that's still drying, that the ink was it's essentially just running through, and that's a pity. Why is it a pity? Because this pen, let me just write with it a bit. You probably can't even hear any feedback there, because there isn't any feedback. It is exceptionally smooth. I'm not sure about the nib size on this. It could be a fine to a medium. If it's a medium, it's a fine medium. If it's a fine, it's a medium fine. So it feels like it's a little bit in between. I also really like the combination of the ink with this pen. Heart of Darkness is a dark ink. I mean, this is an evil black, I really like it. So even for a thin line, you get a really dark black line, not like some other inks where it's a shade of grey, like a dark grey. Sorry, still ink everywhere. It's really black, and it looks really nice, and this pen is so comfortable. It's lovely to write with. I love it. Little bit of pressure, you get some line variation, maybe a little bit, not anything to write home about, but it's okay. Let me use my dirty finger. It's plenty wet, no problems there. The only problem with this pen is the excessive amount of leakage, and by the way, that ink is still drying. It's not going anywhere. So that's the main problem, is that it's just leaking too much ink, and for it to burp that amount of ink every single time that I use it, it's actually wasting more ink than I actually write with. And so that for me is a bit of a problem. That I wouldn't mind the pen burping occasionally. I can live with that. I don't mind ink splotches and stuff like that. I don't mind ink on my fingers, but you would actually be wasting more ink than you actually get to write with. Now with Heart of Darkness, since it's such an enormous bottle, it's not such a big deal perhaps initially, but if you have an ink that's a little bit more expensive perhaps, or that you don't have that much to waste, this is not going to work for you. This seals very well, by the way. I mean, it's got some silicone grease on there, and if you re-ink it a couple of times, you just put some silicone grease, it seals no problems. So there's no issue with the seal. It's just this ink runs through the section and it pulls over there. Now it could be the air thing and the air pressure. That's possible. As I'm writing, this heats up. I guess it's a possibility, but you know, this pen pretty much just stays flat on my desk. I do a bit of writing. Every time I use it, I have to clean it up. I do a bit of writing, I carefully put it away, and the next time I pick it up, the moment I take the cap off, ink everywhere. And so that's the only downside. Now I did say this pen is free, so how much complaining can I really do about that? So I can't complain about it at all. I mean, this is a free pen. I think if Noodlers spent a little bit of time to, you know, address that this one little thing, they could probably sell this pen. I would reckon this pen could sell at the price of a Preppy, Platinum Preppy, and I would even prefer this pen over a Platinum Preppy because it looks way better. It's got a very nice cap, metal clip. Even if they sold it for a little bit more than the price of a Preppy, I would certainly buy one. The nib is excellent. It is really smooth. No issues there. So this is a very nice pen. I really love this pen. It's just the one issue with the ink that you just have to be aware of. But it's not like you're going to buy this pen. You are going to buy the ink. Why are you going to buy this ink? Because it's a lot of ink, and it's a lovely ink. It's a beautiful black. You get a lot of it. It's not that expensive, therefore, and you get the pen for free. So this is, in my view, this is a no-lose deal. You just got to do it. It's not like the Noodler's Triple Tail, for example, where you spend a lot of money on the pen and you end up being slightly disappointed. There's no downside to getting this ink and getting this pen. Either way, it's a win. So that ink is still drying over there. I think it will still be drying by the end of the day. Pen is almost empty. I'm going to clean it out, and I'll see what happens when I use perhaps a slightly different ink. I'm not going to fill this all the way up because this is a lot of ink to keep in the barrel, and to fill this barrel and keep it full is not going to work for me. I tend to use a little bit of ink, write it all up, and then I can re-ink my pen with something else. That for me is the fun in it, is having fun with the ink and then being able to change it. So that's not going to work for me, but it may very well work for you. So I absolutely recommend this deal. I think it's brilliant. A company giving away a pen for free, that's certainly new, and that definitely makes me love Noodlers a little bit more. So everyone, thanks for watching. I would love to hear your comments. If you have one of these, or even if you don't, what do you think about this pen? And please remember to like and subscribe. My content is, I really appreciate the support. So if you like the kind of content, like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.